Alright guys, good job so far this season. No losses, been going through the Champions League very easily. Means got a full squad available for this final. You first teamers, you should all be ready to go. It's just Auckland City. It's away from home, but we know we can beat them. Let's stick it to them up there. Gotta remember the Club World Cup a few years ago. They should not have gone. Instead of us, let's beat them and make it 6 straight OFC Champions League titles, boys. Come on.
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 111 here of the New Zealand Builder Nation on Shaun Does FM with both the All Whites and with Cashmere Technical. I hope you're doing well. And coming up today, it's the Champions League final in 2035 for Oceania, an all New Zealand derby for the first time in a couple of years. We take on our old rivals away from home in Auckland City, so if you're looking forward to that coming up in today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But yesterday made our way through the semi-finals of this competition where we took on AS Dragons. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner since the second leg of that, which we just showed you guys the result from, seeing as we were already 6-1 up after the first leg and picked up the same result in the second league, 2 games in the Southern League, both away from home against Otago Uni and Parklands United, and picked up pretty solid wins in both those games. First up, 4-0 over Otago Uni this game, with most of our first team players, a hat-trick there to Wally Khaled and also a goal to Tim Anderson, and then a full rotation just to make sure no injuries or tired first team players going in to this Champions League final, and thankfully still got the job done there, 2-0 over Parklands United, with goals to Tristan Turner in the first half and Tim Anderson off the bench in the second. So solid wins there in the Southern League. We are still top of that and the only undefeated team, but we're about to take on Auckland City here in this Champions League final, a team that we've had the wood over for a fair while now. I think leading in to last year's New Zealand National League final, we showed you guys that the last time I actually lost to these guys was in the Champions League final, which I think was all the way back in 2028 or 2029. We are now going for 6 in a row of these, but Auckland City are clearly the second best team in New Zealand, or at least they have been over the last couple of years. Usually them, all Western Suburbs, 2-star reputation, and they have Stipe Ukic as their captain this time. He can play because not suspended for this one like he was in that National League Grand Final last season, so this might be a bit tougher, especially with this being up at the Ramon Tripoli Arena, and also they come to this one in a bit better form than they did this time last year, off the back of 5 straight wins, 2 of those in that Champions League semi and another 3 in the National League over Melville, Auckland United and Hamilton Wanderers. So they come into this one in pretty good form, but so do we, and as I said recently, we have the form over these guys. There's no injury concerns or suspensions, thanks to the fact that we picked up a very comfortable win in the first leg of yesterday's episode. So it's time to get stuck into this 2035 Champions League final, Auckland City versus Cashmere Tech. And here are the team sheets for this season's Champions League final. First up, the home team there in Auckland City, as you saw before, in very good form and going for a 4-2-3-1. Fletcher in defensive midfield, our former captain, so looks like they are at full strength as well as us. This is our best 11 for the Champions League, to Doss out right back instead of Debenham. But it looks like both teams here at full strength for this final. Hopefully can pick it up for a 6th straight season. And we don't have to wait long for the first highlight, only 6 minutes, and it is a throw for us here inside of the opposition half. Thankfully, just find a teammate there, and now Janssen starts to cut inside, finds Ciardello, block shot, it falls to Janssen, who beats little Cox. Don't think he was expecting that. Was the rubbish Jordan Pickford in goal for Auckland City, and that's a dreadful start for them. A little bit unlucky, but thankfully we make the most of it. Janssen, as he tends to do, does score in a Champions League final. Was a bit quiet in the semis yesterday, as I mentioned, but he did some good work here to find Ciardello, block shot, then that first time finish on the volley. Cox was not expecting that, and with the first real shot of this game, and those were the first 2 in that highlight, we make it 1-0 here, and that is a decent deflection, albeit it does fall back to Auckland City, so might be a chance for them here to strike back immediately. No doubt looking for Ukic there inside the box, but thankfully that header goes just over the top right corner. No doubt that is something Auckland City will try and make the most of. They were missing that last season in the National League final, albeit short off the back of that. Now it's a corner here in our favour. We take it short. Ciardiello looks to put that one top right corner, but unfortunately just can't quite curve that one round. And it did look like it might also be going too high, so still 1-0, albeit off the back of that. Now a free kick in our favour, but that is a bit of a soft one there. I think Evans got his head on the end of that one, and little Cox can claim that one pretty safely under very little pressure. He pumps that one deep. No one home for Auckland City, and McGoldrick can play that one now to Dossauer, starts to make his way forward down that right-hand side. He finds Khalid off the back of some pretty good recent form, plays that one back at Dossauer, looking for Ciardiello far post. Get it away there from City, and I think Bowman, that was who will pump that one deep the Mohawk, but thankfully Anderson is there to tidy things up, and we here might be back on the attack. Janssen, nice ball there for Ciardiello from a tight angle, squeeze that one nicely, 4-1 Carlos Castro, who puts it away, 2-0 up early here, just going past the 15-minute mark. This has been a terrific start here up at the RTA. Hopefully we can just see this out from here, but not go too Southgate-like, actually continue to play football. But a brilliant start, goal to Janssen and Castro to make it 2-0. And we'll have to wait a little while for the next highlight of this game. It's a corner here to Auckland City, just shy of the half-hour mark. It goes out there to Rosa, who tries to put that one top right corner, quite similar to Ciardiello down the other end in that batch of the first couple of highlights, but he also misses the target. So far, this game actually quite even, but thankfully, both our shots on target have been goals. Auckland City, the one shot on target, must have been saved, and now we're down the other end here, back on the attack. Dossauer will square that one nicely for Khalid, but Cox comes up there with a good save, and it's a double one. Ciardiello gets denied yet again. Cox doesn't usually make too many saves against us. Those are a couple of big ones to keep them in this game. Still 2-0 in front though. And it looks like that will do it for the first half. We've definitely pulled away off the back of that highlight, off the back of the half-hour mark. Since then, we have been on the front foot, but unfortunately, only 2-0 in front. But still, that's a pretty good scoreline here at halftime away from home in a Champions League final. Anderson, coming up to the half-hour mark, did pick up a yellow card. Will play things safe. Georgios Victoros can come on for him, to be fair. Star rating-wise, doesn't look too much better as a ball-playing defender. I think both central defenders are working so far since we changed that tactic going in to the new season. So we'll just bring on Victoros, the old guard there at centre-back, but pretty happy with how everyone else out there is doing. 2-0 up at half-time in the Champions League final. And only a couple of minutes into the second half, the first highlight here is Auckland City trying to make their way out from back. But to be fair, we put some pretty good pressure on them, and eventually Xavier Smith tracking back there quite a fair way, considering he's a left back, was deep inside of the attacking zone there, but gets us back on the front foot. Castro here gets played in behind beautifully there from Khalid, and we make it 3-0 nice and early in the second half. And it looks like Auckland City might be on the end of a bit of a pumping here. Yet again, this could be one of the more comfortable wins we've had so far in a Champions League final, the way it's going. Some good short build-up play there through the middle as well. Auckland City will be a bit disappointed about that. Castro, too much pace for their defence, and puts that one away nicely. Bottom left corner, past little Cox, and only a few minutes off the back of that. There's a free kick here in our favour, which Hawkins takes. Short goes forward to Clark before going back there to Hawkins and goal. But so far, this is going brilliantly. Do look like we're going to be making it 6 straight Champions League. It's been pretty comfortable so far. A little bit scratchy back in the group stage, but now starting to find our form here at Cashmere Technical. Clark now has the ball here just outside of the box. Let's see what he does. Pulls that one back for Xavier Smith. Gets interfered with a little bit. Couple of chances there for Auckland to clear it. It forces Ciardiello, but yet again, little Cox actually comes up with a pretty good save. Now City go down the other end. Let's see if they can do something here on the counter attack. A shot there from Araya on the volley, but thankfully that one goes well over the bar. And off the back of that, Khalid has picked up a yellow card. Will play things safe. He's going well, but Torikna can come on for him with a 3-0 lead. And only a few minutes off the back of that sub of Torikna coming on for Khalid. Free kick there for our former captain, Jamie Fletcher, but thankfully Hawkins sees that one from a fair way out and can put it out for a corner. Let's see if something happens from it. We won't make that sub be recommending just yet, because of course it's a final. Don't need to worry about yellow card too much. Thankfully Lorenz puts that header well over the bar. Still at 3-0 in front. In fact, now it's Ciardiello who picks up a yellow card, playing well. Has missed a couple of good chances, albeit that's mostly thanks to the City goalkeeper actually being half decent today. So Greenidge can come on for him, but still very happy with how this is going. 3-0 up with 25 minutes left. And we've just made our way into the last 20 minutes of this game, and a front for us here. So far, this game's been mostly us on the attack. Now plays that one there for Lorenzo Janssen. Takes on a shot. Good save from Cox. Big chance there for Nah. But unfortunately that one comes off the woodwork as my wife comes home. Hopefully can't hear my garage door too much. We're going to make our last couple of subs here. Vinicius, he can come on for Louis Evans. And also we might take off him a goal trick for Kanate. Those will be our last couple of subs just to make sure we've got some fresh leads going in the last couple of minutes of this game. And off the back of that, there is a corner in our favour. Greenidge will float this one far post. It's a bit of a mess there off the back of that header from Victor Ross or Kanate, but eventually Castro will put that one home and complete a perfect hat-trick in the Champions League final. One with his left foot, one with his right foot, and that clearly was a header. I'm pretty sure Kanate got to that. Clark gets in the way, misses his header, but thankfully Castro is there to tidy things up. Champions League final hat-trick to make it 4-0. And we're just about into the last 10 minutes of this Champions League final, and so far we've been doing a really good job, and that might continue here with a corner in the last couple of minutes. We put that one into the mix of Castro, then the ball falls out to him, but Araya gives him a good old push there, and he might get a chance again to score here from the spot. Indeed, that's the case, as Janssen can't quite get himself onto a hat-trick late in this game, but Castro to try and make it 5-0. That one's a little bit cheeky, not the most powerful effort. Kind of sets up Cox there to look a little bit silly, which he usually does by himself, but Castro, that's his 4th goal in this Champions League final, a clear player of the match so far, off back of that prior perfect hat-trick. And Auckland City getting thumped here in front of their home fans. To be fair, based on goal differential in the group stage, they look like they might be the better team this season. Thankfully, that's turned around here in the knockouts, and we are pumping them 5-0 in this Champions League final. Thankfully, playing them in a one-off game hasn't come back to bite us this time around, and as we're about to make our way into injury time, Vinicius plays through Castro. That's 5 goals here in the Champions League final. That's a handful. He has been superb for us. Here's our Ecuadorian striker. Hopefully not too long until he becomes an option for the All Whites, albeit I don't think he's been here too long these days. I think this is only his 3rd season at the club, but Cox comes out there. To be fair, that's just the defenders in front of him not being quick enough to keep up with Castro, as we saw for that first goal of the second half. But that is an absolute thumping 6-0 in the Champions League final. To be fair, Auckland City hit about, I think it was 10 shots in that final, but only 2 on target. We're looking very dangerous, despite the fact that we got rid of that ball-playing defender and did go to 2 central defenders. Maybe that's just kicked us into gear even more, but for the 6th season in a row, we are the champions of Oceania. Hopefully, that also means we're going the next 6 FIFA Club World Cups. Let's see if that happens, because I still haven't fallen far enough to see if that was what the issue was last time around, but that is an absolute thumping there of City in the final, 6-0, to lift another Champions League trophy. So a much easier than expected win there in the Champions League final of 2035. Thought that one might be a bit closer than we saw yesterday in the semi-finals, as it worked out. Actually won that game more comfortably than we did the first leg of that round, and that makes it, I believe, 6 in a row. Indeed, that is the case. We're absolutely dominant here in Oceania. Hopefully, we get the chance soon to show it on a world stage. And to be fair, by this stage, I think you guys have seen all these inbox items. Everyone quite happy with us, as you would expect. Obviously, Castro, man of the match in that final with 5 goals. What a striker he has been for us so far in this save. Hopefully, that will continue and he'll stay here long enough to be a potential option for the All Whites, albeit striker. Not too bad a position in terms of squad depth, with the likes of Ulisse, Johnston, Prince Kamalo and David Basilage all in behind McDonald up front for the All Whites. And there's a Champions League review. The biggest overachievers were apparently Kiwi for making the group stage, and the academy team, the biggest underachievers, because they went out in the group stage. That does still seem really weird how an academy team can be underperforming, but that will do it for today's episode. Just the one game. Thought it might go a bit longer, but in the end, absolutely smashed Auckland City. And to be fair, a couple of Chatham Cup now and Southern League games the next little while, and we're probably going to win those very comfortably as well. But if you enjoyed today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. Now tomorrow, I'll just see what's coming up for the next little while. Not a heck of a lot with Cashmere Tech, especially if we can beat Auckland City 6-0 in a Champions League final, I think. Just going to try and skip over the Southern League part of the season this time around so we can get stuck in to the National League Championship next week. So instead, we might come back for the next international window with the All Whites, which is in June. It's 2 South American teams who are coming to New Zealand. We take on Ecuador. Those guys are ranked 38th in the world, so a little bit behind us. Latree coming off the back of a loss to Jamaica in that last window. So hopefully that's a team that we can beat. And then a bit of a tougher test as we take on Paraguay. They are up in 24th in the world, so just a bit below Japan. Hopefully they might be a team that we can beat. But 2 South American teams will take on in that next international window in tomorrow's episode, and also do a bit of an update on how stuff is going on at Cashmere Tech as well. So until then, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.